What's going on, everyone? This is Jack with the Trading Tribe, and welcome back to another swing trade breakdown. I'm actually still in the trade here on ES Futures, which is the S&P 500 futures contract. It's one of my favorite futures contracts out there to swing trade. I've been kind of in this trade for a couple days now, but kind of wanted to break down really the thought process behind the trade, how I'm planning on managing this exit of the trade as well. And we'll take a look really at the idea first. So if we look over here on the left to what we call the hourly chart, we can see really the last couple weeks of ES here. And the way I kind of looked at it before taking the trade is I kind of looked at us as in a range, right? We can tell we have kind of a general area for lows right around 55.10. And then we have a kind of a general area of highs around 55.85. And what I'll do is typically when I'm trading in the range is I will determine the long-term trend. And for really this whole year, ES has been in an uptrend. So I don't have a ton of interest shorting it because again, it's counter trend and you want to be really careful doing that. What I like to do is because we're in an uptrend long term, I like to look for these buys kind of at the bottom of the range. So last week, right, made a ton on buying, played kind of these moves up to the top side of the range. This week, I really did the same thing, right? It came down Monday, kind of held our key level here at the bottom of the range. And then I essentially entered the swing trade and I essentially have just added it and day traded it as we've gone higher. So I'm starting to kind of sift in and out of contracts. I'm still up about 3.4, it looks like, with my current set of 2 contracts. And how I'll typically do this is it's about a $5,000 trade now if it does go to the highs. So really, really nice profit potential, right? So every point in ES is $50 of profit. And I'm in with 2 contracts. So for me, every point is worth $100 of profit. And as you can see, right, we've gone up about 60 points already from lows to highs. So lots of profit margin to work around. And as you can see, right, yesterday on Tuesday morning, we can see we hit the bottom of the range again. And then we really just busted straight through all of our main moving averages. And now we're already up at the top side. So you can see I've really tightened my stop loss. We want to be pretty careful here giving back profit. You'll notice last week, for example, it went almost to a higher high and then came all the way back down. So you want to be very careful. Even though this is a swing trade, you would think it's probably best to keep a stop loss as low as possible. But what I like to do is I actually like to bring my stop loss up as the trade is actually working. So as you can see, I'm still giving it quite a bit of room today, but if it does happen to reverse and drop below VWAP and my moving averages, I will eventually get out, right? I'm not giving it that 60 points of room anymore now that we've gone about 90% to target. We also have a lot of news today, so you always want to factor that in as well. If I bring up my FinViz calendar, we can see, right, we have tons of different releases today. We have a natural gas report, a crude report, and then we have tons of other reports coming out that'll impact the S&P 500, right, like FOMC, employment changes, initial claims, continuing claims. So there's a lot happening this morning and this afternoon, and we want to be aware of that, right? The last FOMC day, it actually pushed the market up a lot, which is why I'm not getting out of this trade, right? I'm trying to stay pretty patient here because I think if we break out of this 55.85 kind of key level, right, we could get a really nice move, especially if there's, the rates come in with kind of positive news, maybe they lower rates or keep them the same based on how it worked last time, right? The FOMC news pushed the market up a lot. We're really in the same trade now where it's a swing trade kind of coming into the news that's already working. And so hopefully this makes sense. This is how I will structure my swing trades, I'll typically move that stop right along as it's working. If this trade was still kind of hovering at break even, right, it'd have that same stop loss. But as you can see, right, in the last day or so, it has pushed higher. And even yesterday, right, throughout the trade itself, we can see we've had a really, really nice uptrend, especially yesterday. As the day progressed, right, I continued moving that stop. I had my stop loss here for a portion of the day. Then once it made a big higher high, I moved it here. And then I just continued to do that around these new lows. And that's how I typically do it. Obviously, sometimes it's going to bump you out of trades a little early, but it's a lot better than giving back all of your profits. So hopefully this really helps. I'll try to make actually a recap of the trade in a different video as well. It looks like the trade could end today, so it could be cool to kind of do a front to back view of the trade as well. But this is my thought process for this ES swing trade. Already up a really nice chunk. I've taken profits along the way as well. So what I'll typically do is have one contract as more of like a swing trade, and then one contract as more of like an in and out day trade. So I took a bunch of exits yesterday. I've already taken a couple exits today. That way you're paying yourself with one contract, and then you're staying in the other, right, to really milk the move based on what actually happens. So hopefully this shows the potential as to kind of what you can do with ES, especially with even just one contract, right? This moves quite a bit. With this moving about 60 points, right? That's about $3,000 USD. So lots of nice potential here this week. And it's really the same trade as we took last week in the group. So last couple weeks, essentially, we've taken the same exact concept where we're swing trading it higher based on these key levels. If you have any questions, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel and comment down below if you need me. Thanks, everyone.